If you're like most people who are strapped for time to practice, then you may wonder, how do I improve my jazz skills while practicing less? Well, today I'm gonna show you a practice routine that packs a huge punch in only 30 minutes. Let's do this. What's up, Brent here from Learn Jazz Standards, where we help musicians just like you learn how to play jazz, all while shortening the learning curve, no matter what instrument you play. On this channel, we do lots of jazz theory, jazz improv, and deep dives into jazz standards, as well as jazz practice itineraries like we're gonna do in today's episode. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bell notification button to never miss out on anything going on. One of the most common things I hear from my subscribers is I just don't have enough time to practice. And it's kind of rooted in the belief that you have to practice a lot in order to improve. It's just something that's been instilled in a lot of people from, teachers who have told them this, but honestly, it's not that true. You can make huge improvements in even just 30 minutes, which I'm gonna show you today exactly how to do that. But make sure you stick around to the end because I'm gonna show you how to take just 30-minute practice sessions and compound that so that you get bigger results over time. So this practice routine is based off of my Inner Circle Power Plan, which is a bonus course I give to my Inner Circle members to help them get a lot of value in their first 30 days of membership. And we learn a jazz standard in 1 month. So the framework of this 30-minute routine is that we're learning a jazz standard in 1 month, and we break it down into 4 weeks, just doing 30-minute practice sessions 3 times a week. So it's only 90 minutes of practice. And I think for a lot of us, we can probably find 30 minutes 3 times a week to practice and to learn. And as I go through this practice plan, I want to instill some mindsets for you to help you understand how you truly can get big results with just 30 minutes at a time. So stay tuned for those as we go through this as well. Okay, so we're gonna learn a jazz standard, and we're just gonna go over the very first week of my practice plan and just use this as an example. The first step of learning a jazz standard in my mind is to learn the melody. I mean, jazz standards, learning them is biggest bang for your buck as far as practicing, as far as I'm concerned. And so we're gonna learn a jazz standard, but in a very methodical way that makes things easy. So let's go over practice session number 1. In practice session number 1, we're gonna learn the first 4 bars of a jazz standard. And the one I talk about in my Inner Circle Power Plan is Doxy, because it's a fairly simple melody, as well as only 16 bars. So we're just gonna learn the first 4 bars of Doxy, which is just this. Okay, that's it. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna learn this from a recording by ear. And I think if you really do this, if you really learn it by ear from a recording and you get just those notes, what I want to instill in you is that the simple stuff is the big stuff, okay? That's a mindset I really want you to adopt. Even just learning that simple little bit there by ear, strengthening your ear, learning just that part of the melody, which we're gonna learn more later, that is a good day's work. So you can leave that 30-minute practice session feeling confident, feeling powerful in the fact that you are going to be improving and moving the needle. So the simple stuff is the big stuff. So even just now you've learned jazz language, now you've learned the first part of the melody, and then we can move on to the next session. In session number 2, you're going to learn the next 8 bars of the melody of Doxy. Now the reason in this case 8 bars instead of 4 more bars is because actually the second 4 bars of Doxy is kind of the same. Right, just that last note, that's a little bit different. And the next 4 bars are part of the bridge. So that's the next 8 bars of Doxy. So once you've gotten that down, again, you're gonna have learned more of the melody, have more jazz language to learn and use. And of course, you can use all this stuff in your solos over Doxy as well. Again, only 30 minutes. In session number 3, you're going to learn the final 4 bars of the melody of Doxy. And this is actually really simple, and I only would want you to spend 15 minutes of your practice session doing this, because it's actually just a repeat of the first 4 bars. just the last 4 bars, and then you're done. But an important thing of any single practice routine or itinerary is review. So after you're done doing that, learning the last part, you're going to review the entire melody and be able to play it along with a recording perfectly so that you feel like it's solidified. What I want you to understand, and this is the second mindset I want you to adopt, is that you can achieve a lot even in just 30 minutes, okay? You can achieve a lot even with less practice time. Or another way I like to say it often is you can achieve a lot with only the amount of practice time that you actually have. Now, it's hard to get rid of the old mindset that we have to practice a lot, we have to learn more stuff, we have to learn more complicated stuff than just the melody of Doxy in order to improve. It's hard because we've been told that for so long. But what I want you to do is really start meditating on some of these mindsets. The simple stuff is the big stuff, right? And you can achieve more with just the amount of practice time you have. Now, this is obviously just week 1 of my Inner Circle Power Plan, 30 minutes at a time. Here's how you take 30-minute sessions though, and you compound them to get achievable results. You'll notice in week 1, the goal was to learn the melody, right? So that's one goal, but that's only one aspect of learning a jazz standard. There's 3 other aspects of it. So the second aspect is learning the chord changes. So in week 2, you would do something similar with its own process for learning chord changes. In week 3, we do something called a chord tone map, where we're mapping out all the chord tones, the most important notes to target in the jazz standard, so that you're able to really know all the notes for your bass lines, for your comping, for your solos. And then finally, week number 4 is actually improvising over it. So what we do is we learn 12 bars of an etude or a solo so that you know some jazz language, and then you go and actually compose your own 16-bar solo over top of Doxy. And you can do this just by yourself. So that's how you take those 30-minute sessions and you keep building and building and building and building until after 1 month, you've learned a jazz standard, you can play the melody, you can play the chords, you can improvise over it, and then you can go and move on to other jazz standards and keep learning and keep growing and keep building 30 minutes at a time. So I highly recommend you go through this process and this framework, start adopting some of these mindsets. And if you want to get help with all this and take this step even further, do check out my LJS Inner Circle membership. Go to ljsinnercircle.com, but I'll also leave a link for that here on the screen. So check out ljsinnercircle.com. We do have our Inner Circle Power Plan that helps you do that exact process in 1 month. So it could be really powerful for your playing to get involved in that. Also leave on the screen a video that is another practice routine itinerary that could also help you as well. So do check that out. Make sure you like this video if you've gotten value out of it. Subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.